Every NFL offensive lineman from the all-time busts to first ballot Hall of Famers falls somewhere on one of these 7 levels. This ranking system has stayed true through every era of football, and even though most don't make it past level 4, those who make it to level 7 are remembered forever. However, to start, we need to go over level 1. So for level 1, we're just going to be picking offensive linemen drafted in the first round of the NFL. It wouldn't really be fair to knock anyone in the 5th rounds or UDFAs or anything along those lines. But don't worry, we're going to be starting with the bottom of the barrel. Tony Mandarich, the most infamous bust in NFL history. Drafted 2nd overall by Green Bay in 1989, Mandarich was supposed to be a generational talent. Instead, he was a complete failure in his first stint with the Packers. It especially stung because of those who were drafted around him. Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, and Deion Sanders. Real Sam Bowie vibes. Playing just 31 games over 3 seasons with Green Bay, he was so bad that the team essentially gave up on him. While he did have a brief resurgence with Indianapolis in 1996 and 1998, his early career was an absolute disaster that set the franchise back a few years. Jason Smith. The Rams took him 2nd overall in 2009, thinking they found their franchise left tackle. What they got was 45 games over 4 seasons with minimal impact. His inability to stay healthy or perform at an NFL level made him one of the biggest offensive lineman busts of the 2000s. Luke Joeckel, Jacksonville's 2nd overall pick in 2013, was supposed to be their anchor on the offensive line for a decade. Instead, Joeckel played just 50 games over 5 seasons, constantly battling injuries and inconsistent play. Isaiah Wilson, perhaps the most spectacular flameout in recent memory. Tennessee drafted him with the 29th overall pick in 2020, and he played exactly 1 game in his entire NFL career. Off-field issues, conditioning problems, and complete lack of professionalism led him to being out of the league almost immediately. Alex Leatherwood deserves a shout out here too. These level 1 busts share common traits. They had the physical measurables that got them drafted high, but lacked the mental toughness, work ethic, or fundamental skills needed to succeed at the NFL level. But level 2, we actually get some playable people even if they are below average. You won't confuse these guys with good everyday starters, but they're out there pretty much every Sunday and are better than potential alternatives on the bench. Daniel Faalele represents this level perfectly. The 6'8", 370-pound tackle was drafted by Baltimore in the 4th round in 2022. Looking at his career progression, you can see the classic level 2 trait. He's played 52 games but only started 21 of them. In 2024, he finally became a full-time starter, this time at guard. But here's the thing about Faalele. He's actually not very good, but he is better than the alternative on the bench. Eric Flowers is another example. He was on level 1 territory until he moved to guard as well. Originally drafted by the Giants to play tackle, Eric Flowers was really on the trajectory of Isaiah Wilson, to be out of the league almost immediately. However, with the transition into guard, when he moved over to Miami, he turned his career around even though he was still below average. Juwan Taylor represents the veteran presence at this level. Over 7 seasons, he's been durable. 102 games played, 102 games started. However, Taylor's penalty numbers are higher than ideal. 74 total penalties over his career, and I think we all know about the false start problems. These level 2 guys are on everybody's NFL roster. They're probably the weakest link on your offensive line. If they're your best starter, then you have the worst offensive line in football. But if they're your weakest link, you can still make it relatively far in the playoffs. Level 3, these are starters. They're guys. These guys are just there, some good players, but not the elite of the elite at this level. You have Mekhi Becton, the 6'7", 363-pound lineman who was drafted 11th by the Jets in 2020 with high expectations. Over his 5-year career, he's played 49 games and started 48 of them across multiple positions. Left tackle with the Jets, right guard with the Philadelphia Eagles, and now guard again with the Chargers. Becton's 2024 season definitely was a career resurgence. Played at a really solid level, enough to get a contract from the Chargers. Broderick Jones from the Steelers is another guy on this level. Pittsburgh took him with the 14th overall pick in 2023, and he's shown steady development over his first 3 seasons. Played 37 games and started 30 of them, transitioning from a rotational rookie to a full-time starter. Morgan Moses represents the older version of this player. He's played over 12 seasons, 169 games, and started 161 of them. His best seasons probably came with the Jets and the Ravens towards the tail end of his career. He's never been to a Pro Bowl, never been to an All-Pro, but he's been out there pretty much every Sunday for about a decade. The key difference between level 2 and level 3 is consistency. Level 2 guys are just hanging on. Level 3 guys are legitimate starters who can handle their responsibilities week in and week out. They may not make the Pro Bowl, but they're the kind of players that allow offensive coordinators to sleep at night. And level 4 is when we start to get to the Pro Bowls and the All-Pro players. These guys are top tier players, some of the best in the world. Here we have Rashawn Slater, the perfect example of level 4. The Chargers' 13th overall pick in 2021 has been nothing short of elite since entering the league when healthy. In just 4 seasons, he's already made 2 Pro Bowls and earned second-team All-Pro honors as a rookie, an incredibly rare achievement for an offensive lineman. Tyler Linderbaum represents the elite center position perfectly. Baltimore's 25th overall pick in 2022 has been a dominant force in the middle of their offense. 2 Pro Bowl selections in 2023 and 2024, showing how quickly he established himself as one of the best centers in the league. Elgton Jenkins can and has played pretty much every position on the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers since 2019, becoming a 2-time Pro Bowler and one of the most versatile linemen we've ever seen. You have guys like Laramie Tunsil, Andrew Thomas, Joe Alt, Jordan Mailata, Trey Smith, and Ike Ekwonu here as well. These guys are perennial Pro Bowl candidates, all-pro contenders, and the type of players that other teams specifically game plan around. They're just not necessarily on the Hall of Fame track just yet. Level 5 offensive linemen are people on the Hall of Fame track, but they're not 100% locks just yet. You have Tristan Wirfs. Tampa Bay's 13th overall pick in 2020 has been absolutely dominant since entering the league. In just 5 seasons, he's made 4 Pro Bowls and earned 2 first-team All-Pro honors. That's Hall of Fame recognition in a very short time. Penei Sewell represents the young superstar of this. Detroit's 7th overall pick in 2021 has been nothing short of spectacular, earning 3 Pro Bowls and 2 first-team All-Pros as well. Andrew Whitworth represents the veteran end of level 5, a player whose Hall of Fame case is built on longevity and sustained excellence. 4 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pro selections, and a Super Bowl championship with the Rams in 2021. Marquise Pouncey represents the center position at this level. Over 11 seasons with Pittsburgh, Pouncey was one of the most dominant centers of his era. 9 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pro honors, over 10 seasons. You have guys like David Bakhtiari, David Castro, and Willie Anderson here as well. These guys have separated themselves from the merely elite level 4 players through a combination of peak performance, longevity, and impact on winning. They're in that rarefied air where the Hall of Fame discussion is legitimate, even if it's not guaranteed. But that's what we have with the next level. Level 6 offensive linemen are Hall of Fame locks if they haven't made it already. Quentin Nelson represents the modern era of a Hall of Fame lock. In just 8 seasons, he's already compiled a Hall of Fame resume, 7 Pro Bowls, 3 first-team All-Pro honors, and 1 second-team All-Pro. What makes Nelson's case so compelling is his immediate and sustained dominance. He was a first-team All-Pro as a rookie, an almost unheard of achievement for an offensive lineman. Lane Johnson, the veteran Hall of Fame lock whose career speaks for itself. Philadelphia's 4th overall pick in 2013 has put together one of the great tackle careers of modern history. 6 Pro Bowl selections, 2 first-team All-Pros, 2 second-team All-Pro selections, and most importantly, being the staple in 2 Super Bowl championships. Walter Jones represents the gold standard of the Hall of Fame tackles and is already enshrined in Canton. His 12-year career with Seattle was nothing short of legendary, with 9 Pro Bowls and 4 All-Pro selections. Trent Williams is also a lock. 11 Pro Bowl selections, 3 first-team All-Pros, and 1 second-team All-Pro along with that. You have guys like Willie Rogue, Jonathan Ogden, Tyron Smith, and Marshall Yanda here as well. What separates level 6 from level 7 isn't the certainty of Hall of Fame induction. It's the conversation about being among the greatest to ever play the position. Level 7 offensive linemen are the best to ever do it, and there's only 6. Anthony Munoz, Joe Thomas, Gene Upshaw, Bruce Matthews, Jason Kelce, and Larry Allen. These are the masters of their craft. The players who didn't just dominate their era, but transcended the game itself. Anthony Munoz is widely considered the greatest offensive tackle in NFL history. His 13-year career with Cincinnati was nothing short of legendary. 11 Pro Bowl selections, 9 All-Pro honors, including 8 first-team All-Pros. He was first-team All-Pro as a rookie in 1981 and continued that excellence throughout his entire career. Joe Thomas represents the modern era's greatest tackle and is already enshrined in Canton. His 11-season career with Cleveland was defined by unprecedented consistency. 10 Pro Bowl selections, 6 All-Pro honors, and a career starting streak that'll probably never be touched by any other offensive lineman. Gene Upshaw was a pioneer who defined what it meant to be an elite guard. His 15-year career with Oakland was historic. 7 Pro Bowl selections, 5 All-Pro honors, 2 Super Bowl championships. Upshaw's career spanned both the AFL and NFL eras, showing his adaptability and sustained excellence across different playstyles and eras. Bruce Matthews is possibly the most versatile offensive lineman in NFL history. His 19-season career with Houston/Tennessee was defined by unprecedented longevity and positional flexibility, including 14 Pro Bowls and 7 All-Pros. Jason Kelce represents the modern era's greatest center. His 13-year career with Philadelphia was defined by sustained excellence and championship-level success. 7 Pro Bowl selections, 6 All-Pro honors, 1 Super Bowl championship. He also gave one of the greatest Super Bowl speeches of all time. Larry Allen was the most physically dominant guard in NFL history, and is already enshrined in Canton. His 14-year career with Dallas and San Francisco was defined by unprecedented strength and athleticism. 11 Pro Bowl selections, 6 All-Pro honors, and a Super Bowl championship. These 6 players represent the absolute pinnacle of offensive line play. They didn't just excel in their eras, they transcended the game and redefined what was possible at their positions. And so there you have it, the 7 levels of NFL offensive linemen. From the complete disasters who set their franchises back, to the masters who redefined what the position could be. The game evolves, the schemes change, but greatness is greatness.